student that has been struggling to read without distractions, or you are a book lover that just can't seem to concentrate while reading, then you're watching the perfect video, because in this video I'm going to be sharing 10 study tips for a more focused and effective reading experience. Hello again and welcome. My name is Precious David and I really appreciate you for watching this video. Without further ado, I'll just get started with the study tips, which is exactly why you're watching this video. The first tip is always ensure that you're reading in a conducive environment. Ensure that your reading environment is comfortable, it is airy, it is quiet, and it has a good light source so that you do not affect your eyesight. Also, ensure that you are in comfortable clothes and a comfortable hairstyle while reading to avoid any form of discomfort or distractions from your clothing or your hair. Also, always read with a comfortable table and chair to avoid backaches. The second tip is always draft a timetable for yourself. Everybody is allocated 24 hours in a day. To make the most use of your 24 hours, you have to plan and proportion your time appropriately. You can set out a time for chores, a time for eating, a time for sleeping, and most importantly, a time for studying. Tip number 3, have a reminder. Your reminder could be an app, it could be an alarm clock, or it could be a person like your family or your friend. Just in case you forget yourself and start to disobey your timetable, your reminder will call you back to order and put you in check and remind you that, hey, by this time you should be reading, by this time you should be eating, by this time you should be doing this or doing that, so that you can round every other thing up and then get back to reading your book. The first tip is try to stay focused. If you have to lock yourself in a room so that you stay focused and study, then do it. If you have to switch your phone off or put it on airplane mode so that you can concentrate and read, then switch your phone off. Also, if you know that staying in the same environment with your phone is still going to distract you or tempt you, then there's nothing wrong with handing your phone over to a friend or a family member that will safely keep your phone for you, and you can always have access to it after studying. You cannot read or study around distractions and expect not to be distracted. So try your best to do away with whatever it is that will distract you while you're reading or studying. Tip number 5 is read in bits but be consistent. Reading has nothing to do with competition. Reading is a personal thing. If you've noticed, while reading, you get to a point where you cannot understand anymore. That's because your brain has reached its threshold. So what you do is to study yourself and then find out the number of hours you can comfortably study and understand. And once you get to that point where you stop understanding, you stop reading. While reading in bits, try to be consistent with it. Try to make it an everyday thing, because that way it becomes a habit, it becomes a part of you, and that really helps if you have something you want to catch up with, or if you have a large amount of study work that you want to cover. The 6th tip is discover your reading style. Just as we are different, a lot of people have a lot of different reading styles that work for them. Some people prefer to jot down a summary of what they have been reading. Some people like to use highlighters, and some people do not even do any of these things. So what you do is to discover your own reading style that works for you. But there are like 2 reading styles that works for almost everybody. The first is try to read with an outline. You can get past questions from your senior colleagues, or you can get a course outline from your lecturer in charge or from your school. That serves as a guideline to what you should read and what you really don't need to read. The second reading style that works for almost everybody is trying to make mnemonics or rhymes out of your books. This makes reading fun and makes remembering easier and faster. You can just play around with mnemonics. Like if you want to memorize a list and it seems too long, you can take out the first letters of each member of the list and then use it to form a sentence or a name or a rhyme. It is easier to remember mnemonics if they can be applied in your everyday life. So try to give mnemonics that you can relate to, that you can use, that you can remember. If you can form a word like plate out of the members of your list, the list you're trying to memorize, then anytime you see a plate, you know P is for this, L is for that, and that way it will be very difficult for you to forget that particular list because you are seeing it every day and every plate you see reminds you about that particular list. The seventh tip is my personal favorite. Chocolates and sweets help with memory and retention. You can use chocolates or sweets as a reward for yourself. How I do it is I can put chocolates or sweets in between the pages of my notes or of my textbook, so that whenever I get to page 55 and there's a sweet there, I can lick it. And if I know that there's another sweet on page 65, it will motivate me to want to read till I get to page 65, so I can lick that other chocolate that is there. Also, chocolates help to improve your mood, so it will eliminate whatever bad mood or frustration that comes with studying, because studying can be hard sometimes. The eighth tip is take a break when you're tired. I've already talked about your brain having a threshold. So when you've noticed that you do not understand what you're reading anymore, do yourself the favor of taking a break. You can go and take a shower, or go and eat, or just go and relax and do something you like doing. During that time of resting, you can also watch a related video to what you read. Like if you read about the heart while you were studying, then when you're resting, you can watch a video about the heart, because videos help what you read to stick more. Tip number 9, try to test yourself often. Testing yourself is an effective form of revision. You can set a few questions from what you've read and try answering them. And trust me, if you fail any one of those questions and you go back to your textbook to take corrections by yourself, you hardly fail that particular question again, because this test, you are the one who set it for yourself, and you are the one who failed it by yourself, and you are the one who corrected yourself. So doing stuff yourself makes it more practical, and you hardly fail that question again. So there you have it, guys. Those are my study tips that have helped me so far. If you have any study tips that have helped you as a student, or that are still helping you now, do well to share with us in the comment section, because a lot of us go through the comments to get more information pertaining to the video. So we'll be very glad to also learn from you.